Okay, g'day everyone. I'm just getting the comments over. Sorry, I'm running a little late. Gonna run around like a mad woman today. Okay, just putting my gloves on. And I'm going to change my foot. So I haven't done anything since I just tried to get a quick coffee in very quickly. And I've left it outside. Oops, the days. Oh. So what I'm going to use for this one is this foot, which is the couching foot for Westerly. I do have these in stock. They're $42 each. You can use them for free motion and for couching. There's a high and a low shank ones. So I'm just trying to find the awl. And just tightening it up, well, not tightening it up, but I've just got it loose. So I do need to change my thread. So I've still got the same bobbin in there. So the bobbin I've got in there is what do they call it, oh gosh, Michelle, think about it, Wonderful Deco Bob. G'day Rado, how you going? I have some tapestry wool. I have something that I've already stitched on, and I'm going to use that today. And I'm just going to get a thread that will sort of blend in with it and not give me too much trouble. So I'm using a gem thread on the top. It's just a small reel of a light blue, and you might see it, but it's not going to be too bad. I'm just going to, I have to thread manually at the moment. I think my girl's, the threader's out of alignment, so I think I need to bring it in and have it looked at. Now I'm just going to thread. Thank God I've got my glasses on, and the foot's in the way. Alright, so we'll thread that through. Alrighty, that's a DMC one, sitting at airport waiting for hubby, going to miss most. Oh, that's okay, Debbie. I'll have it on the videos and you can watch later. So this is just a tapestry wool. I've got my quilting gloves on. Okay, so I've got them on. Now I do have, like I said, the Westerly couching foot. So if you're interested in those, I do stock them. I'm going to use this because I've already used this for stencils, so it's got a design on it I can follow because I've already got it on there. You can pretty much see it as I go. Now with this foot, I have to make sure that it floats. Now you can see I've got it very, very loose. Okay, I'm just going to try and zoom this in a little bit better, so bear with me while I wiggle it around. Get a better position, and just going to try and zoom in there. There we go. Might be able to see a little bit more of what I'm doing. Oh, sorry about that. There we go. Just make sure my hands aren't in the way. Okay, so it's still very, very loose. Okay, so I haven't tightened it up. So I'm going to put my big fat hands in the way. I mean, I've got my foot in the down position, and I'm just going to screw that up tight so it doesn't wobble around. I can't have it doing that, otherwise I'll smash my needles. Oops, a daisy, just, there we go. And I do this every time with the couching. I always double check the thickness of the fabric. Oops, a daisy, going the wrong way. What have we got there? Back again, homeschooling is done for today. Now it's my turn. Yeah, good idea. Okay, so you can see the fabric moves around nicely. There's no grabbing, there's no bunching, no pushing, nothing. All right, so I've got it. I probably actually might just give it one quick turn because I don't want it to come loose with the shifting of the fabric and everything. So the first thing I want to do is actually get my my position, my wool in that hole. There's a hole there. There's a plastic infill, and then there's a hole in the center where the wool goes down. So the temptation is to try and throw your wool through there, and it's just about near impossible. So what I do is I'm going to start on up here. I'm going to put my needle down and then needle up. Actually, I've got to grab that little booger, and it's very small because it's got an automatic cut off. So bear with me while I have a fight with it. All right, so you need to be able to grab your bobbin. I'm just making sure that my tensions and everything are on the right thing, which they're not. No, they still need to be in free motion mode. So just drop that back down and needle down, needle up again. I'll get my wool and I'm going to actually unravel a lot of it, and I keep it fairly loose around the sewing area so I don't have this big tight tension on it. So I just have it nice and loose. I'm going to pop it behind here because I've done a stitch. I'm going to bring that forward. I'm holding on to all bits of thread that I've got there, including the wool. And I'm going to put the needle back down and back up again. Now I'm going to move the machine, the fabric forward, and I'm going to grab on to those tails, this here, this thread, these tails of thread that I pulled up, the top and the bottom. Grab those and just pull through. And once I've got enough, I'll get my fat fingers in there, I can pull that right in and underneath. And so that, see, it's right in under there. Just keep those out of the way. Pull it back out a bit so I've got a little bit of a tail, which I can trim off later. And I'm going to put the needle back down again and do a couple of stitches in it. Now I'm going to change my setting on my machine to a zigzag, and I'm going to make the zigzag a 1, a 0, a 1, like literally just a 1. And I'm going to put my needle down and just let it zigzag a couple of stitches. And I'm going to trim that off because it'll get in my way. I'll get back to it a bit later. I'm going to move that little booger over to this side away from where I'm sewing. So what I do is I put the wool in the direction that I'm going to be sewing. I'm coming up this way, so I want it to be in that way. So even though I've got the free motion thing going, oh, and by the way, that is way too fast. I'll just go a little bit slower. And then I can move the wool. See, if I might have missed it then because it was in the wrong direction. So it means I might have to come back and grab it. So if the wool's not in the direction you're sewing, then you need to come back. All right, then I'm going to come back this way. And this is not a quick process, it's a slow process, especially when you're first learning. And then down here. There. I'm going to come around, so I'm just going to have that in the right direction. And it doesn't matter if you go a bit wobbly, you're not going to have all this previous stitching there, you're just going to have a drawing of some sort, or you know, you're going to go free motion with your stippling, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to have what I've got here. I've got all this stitching here. So now I'm going to come around this little flower, so I need to just make sure I've got lots of wool just sitting there ready for me to grab. One hand on the fabric. And these gloves make it nice and easy for me to keep my hands nice and flat. I'm not grabbing on with a monkey grip. Come back in, back out again. I'm going to come around this way. I'm just sort of guessing which way I went. I can't remember. It was only a couple of weeks ago, but you know. up here in the direction I'm going. Come back over here. I don't want that fold in there. And back to here, and then just stop because I need to reposition. I'm going to go back over to where I started and trim that little start bit off. We will stitch that in when we come back to it. Again, just get the wool nice and loose, lots of it. So I've got it all sort of sitting here in like a bundle. You can't see it, but it's off the screen, but it's there. Then just making sure I haven't got any loops, knots, we don't want those. And coming around. And the beauty of these gloves is I can swap hands, and it doesn't impede my sewing. I might have missed there, you can see it's a little bit messy, but I'll come back to that. Again, this is that TQ, oops a day. See, now I've got a loop there, you see that loop? So I'm just going to lift the needle up, and I'm going to try and, actually I might put the foot up as well, just pull that through. I'll cut that off in a minute. I'm going to cut that off. I haven't taken the tail out. Just put the needle back down a bit as a bit of a save. And I'm going to come back this way. So you can neaten things up a little bit later. And I'm going to come back again. Do that nice little tiny feather there, back into the leaf. And it doesn't help that this bit of fabric is really tiny. It makes it actually hard for me to hang on to, just saying. So as soon as I start to get any tension on that, that's going to cause issues, so I have to loosen it up again. I don't know if there's any other questions. No one's asking any questions. That's good. All right. Means you're all watching and taking notes. With a bit of luck, you'll be trying this later on today. All right, we'll give that one a bit of a swirly thing. So at the moment, it's not actually picking up the wool, so I need to move it, and all of a sudden it'll just start picking it up again. Again, it's not picking up the wool, it's missing it completely. So we'll just do that there. You see it missed it. So we'll stitch over that in a minute. You won't see that. She disappear. Nice and easy. Oops, and it's created a bit of a lump, which I will work out in a sec. I'm going to give it a bit of a shove. There we go. So it's not as smooth running as just plain. Would an embroidery hoop help? If with a small piece of fabric, yeah, probably would. But for this little demo, I didn't go that far into it. So there. And I'm going to come back down. So you can use a a thread that matches. You can use one that's completely opposite, like a black and white. It depends on the look you're looking for. Any of these wools, baby wool, the razzle and the dazzle and the razzle threads, anything that's sort of that kind of gauge will work. I'm just going to pop it up there. Yeah. If I stop too long in one spot, I'll get a knot. So you just got to remember that. when you're sewing any kind of couching. Alright, let's go. I'm just figuring out which direction I'm heading. I'm thinking I might go this way. The beauty of this is I can come back and I can stitch it in. So you can just have one hand holding and one on the fabric. Depends on how comfortable you are with that. Be nice to have a little genie there somewhere doing it for you. Alright, so I'm just having a look where I've got to go. Go back over here. Stop over here. And I might need to turn that around so I can see it. I got a bag of 8 balls of wool for $10 to practice with. This is a bit thinner than what you are using. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, you just need to make sure that that it's under the needle. It'll still grab it. You know, the what they call them, the crocheting, that really thin crocheting stuff will work as well. They all work. It's just as to whether you're grabbing it and you've got it in the right direction of where you're sewing. Regardless of who you are and how experienced you are, you will always need to have that wool in the direction you're sewing. Even if you've got a guide, you've got to make sure that it's, you know, going through the guide properly. Trying to keep my hands out of the way at the same time. Oopsie-days. Moved my hand before the needle was down. Okay. Let's move that over there. G'day, Michelle. Is that a special foot, Michelle? This is the couching foot. Yes, it is. It's the westerly couching foot, designed to attach to most or many machines. This one here is for a high shank machine, so as long as you know the shank of your machine, it should go on quite fine. It just screws on at the side there, and you adjust it to the thickness of your fabric and stuff like that. It has a plastic insert with a hole in the middle for the wool to go through, so that's why my wool is wanting to go in the same position when I've in the middle there, rather than trying to flop around the foot. I don't know, you've seen some of Helen Godden stuff, and she'll colour in with the wool and everything. That's really cool too, so you can colour in. You know, fill in areas with the wool. It fills it in very quickly. It's very effective, especially variegated wool. That's really cool. So you can see some of them I've missed, but like I say, you watch and I'll come back and I'll fix them up soon. I'm almost there. I'm going to do my live at 1 o'clock. What time is it now, Dottie? Time is it?
10 to 1.
What?
10 to 1.
Shite. Alright, we're nearly finished. Alrighty. So, come down here and we're almost finished, hey?
21.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Got time to finish it off. Good. All right. So then we can go here. Shanks go in a pot, don't they? All right. So I'm going to cut off. And what you'll notice is that that doesn't cut off your wool, obviously. So I'm going to cut the wool off. Oh, I've unthreaded my machine. That was clever of me. And I'll just foot down so I can rethread. What's the days? Too far away. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna see how it's getting caught. So the beauty of this foot is I can now loosen that off, right? Loosen it off and have it sitting on top of that wool, and then tighten it. It moves up to the wool, tighten it off, and now it won't get caught all the time. So I'm just going to do a quick cut off, just so I can bury that thread. And needle up. I need to go straight stitch now, and I'm just going to go straight stitch all the way over, and anything that looks like it's going to come away I can then stitch back over, and that's how you get those little bits to stitch down, alright, that you missed last time. Alright, but because this foot moves and lifts higher, you can actually get over this stuff without actually getting caught underneath the foot. Okay, so I'm just going back over some of those areas. I won't do it all because I'm going to run out of time. But this will give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So there was an area up here that I had to cut off earlier. I'll get myself to there in a sec. That was a bit of an issue with the tension there. And if your thread is the same colour as the wool, mine's not, so that you can see what I'm doing, but if your thread's the same colour as your wool, you won't see any of this. So if you've got black thread and black wool, it all matches in nicely. There we go, so that's all stitched down. Alright, so that gives you a quick idea. The beauty of this also is, yeah, Jacobean, this would work with Jacobean, absolutely, yeah. You can also get off any of your fluffy bits if they're really annoying you. By just giving them a quick little trim. So I've got little fluffy bits. So let's see if I can try and show you. There they are there. So I'm just going to trim them up a little with the scissors and give them a bit of a foof, and that cleans them up. So there you go. You can see how cool that can look. Imagine doing a quilt as you go like that. That would be awesome. One in each different colour. And that pattern comes from one of the stencils with the pounce pads, and we're going to be doing that I think a little bit later on today. So I will see you at 1 o'clock, hopefully in the classroom, and we're going to do some more free motion quilting, and we're going to do it the liberated way. See you soon. Bye.